Hello, Shameless Writers. I'm Kristen McTiernan, the Nonsense-Free Editor, here for your regular dose of writing wisdom. Since we've already gone over the different types of Christian nonfiction, this week we're going to clear up some misconceptions over what qualifies as Christian fiction and how you can target the types of readers you want. Before we get into the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. And while you're at it, take a look at the link below to my private writers community, especially if you're a memoirist or plan to be, as I have a course coming out within the next month or two that'll take you through the entire process of writing a memoir. This video is designed for authors who are either hoping to be signed specifically to a Christian publisher or to self-published authors who are targeting Christian audiences. For those authors who are like me and may use Christian themes in your novel but aren't necessarily targeting Christian readers, there isn't as much of a need to properly categorize your book. But for those of you who are niching down specifically to the Christian genre, there are a few requirements that you need to keep in mind. Number one, get the theology right. There are many types of Christians. Many types. The reason there are many types is because there are differences in each denomination's dogma based on their interpretation of the scripture. So the theology in your book, no matter what it is, will inevitably run afoul of some of your readers' beliefs. That's honestly unavoidable. But there are 4 non-negotiable theological elements that your book, if marketed to a Christian audience, cannot run afoul of. First, Christ is both God and man, which is why he alone was sinless. 2, Christ was born of a virgin. 3, Christ was crucified, acting as the only suitable sacrifice for the forgiveness of man's sins and creating a new covenant with God. And finally, 4, Christ rose from the dead 3 days later and ascended to heaven. If your book denies any of these 4 tenets, it is not a Christian fiction book. Like the Da Vinci Code, it is popular fiction that uses Christian themes and mythology as a plot point. This is not a bad thing, as genres exist merely as a sorting mechanism. This is not a value judgment. So there's no shame in classifying your book as popular fiction. Number 2, no swearing. Seriously, not even a little. Our society has loosened the standards on language so much that there's a whole industry of professionally published self-help books with literal F-bombs in the title. I mean, you guys, I swear like a salty Marine that I once was, but even I raised an eyebrow when that started to become a thing. Readers seek out Christian fiction not only to see a reflection of their own belief system, but it's also a respite from the coarsening of our overall discourse. So even the words that are allowed on network TV should not make an appearance in your Christian fiction. Number 3, no on-the-page sex and no sex between unmarried folk. While the majority of self-identified Christians do not wait for marriage to experience physical intimacy, it is still the moral ideal, and it is obedience to Scripture to wait for marriage. Characters who have not waited for marriage are still acceptable, but if they're your main character, they should regret that decision. If your main character unapologetically believes in the try before you buy model of relationships, then your book should probably be marketed as popular fiction instead of Christian fiction. And lastly, number 4, this should go without saying, but if the underlying theme of your book is that the church is corrupt, you should market your book as popular fiction. Using an individual church leader or a group of high-ranking people as your antagonist isn't a deal breaker, as no one knows better than believing Christians that there are false teachers who victimize their followers. Catholic here. Wearing a collar or going to divinity school doesn't make you a good person, and it certainly doesn't make you safe to leave your teenager with. And honestly, pretending otherwise is naive to the point of willful blindness. However, portraying an entire denomination, or worse, every Christian denomination, as inherently predatory will be a turnoff to a Christian audience. So preserve your 4 and 5-star ratings and don't let your Christian audience feel like you've misrepresented yourself as a Christian author. So that's all I have for this week. If I missed anything, and I probably did, leave me a comment below so I can keep it in mind for my Christian fiction clients. I want to say thank you to everyone who watches my videos and takes the time to comment and subscribe. If you look down, you'll see that I'm getting close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. However, my watch hours is a little low. Watch hours are a little low. There we go. So if I can ask a favor, if you're cleaning or doing some inane task and you need some background noise, maybe go ahead and watch some of the videos in my backlist so I can hit my 2021 goal of being monetized. I would very much appreciate it. So until next time, take care and write well.